Hello, Mama. I am so glad that you are here. My name is April. I am the creator of Unfold Motherhood. I created this mini course, Calm Pregnancy, Calm Birth, for you because I know what it's like. I know that pregnancy can feel overwhelming and scary, whether it is your first pregnancy or your fifth pregnancy. There are certain things that you need to do in order to find your calm and take care of yourself and your baby and have a better birth experience. So I created this course and everything that I offer based on my experience over the last 10 years, and then also on my personal experience, which I'm going to share in the course. So, the way that we're going to break it down today is we're going to go through the course. I'm going to talk about the topics, and then at the end, we're going to do a short 15-minute movement practice where we put everything together and you can firsthand experience how you feel after the movement practice. So I hope that you make it through. I hope that you commit some time to this. And at the end, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me because that's what I'm here for. All of your emails, everything comes directly to me. I'm a one-woman show. This is where I make all the magic happen, and I am here for you. So I will see you on the other side of this workshop. All right, Mama, here we are. Welcome to Calm Pregnancy, Calm Birth. So, I want to start by talking about one of the biggest mistakes that overwhelmed moms to be make during their pregnancy. And it's that they don't do enough to prepare for birth and postpartum. And it's not their fault. Society has been designed so that moms often spend more time on their baby registry than they do preparing for birth and postpartum. An empowered mom has taken the time to learn about the process so they know their options. They're moving their body in ways that are specific to pregnancy, specific to where they are right now, and they're mentally preparing for birth and motherhood. I want you to know that there are ways to do this so you can find calm in the process. It is time to ditch the overwhelm that comes with pregnancy and to do so in a way that doesn't cause more overwhelm and is not too overly time consuming. So, what I want you to do now is I want you to imagine what it would feel like to feel your best during this pregnancy while also working towards preparing for birth and postpartum. What would it feel like to find ease in the process, to drop tension from your body, to let go of any fears you might be holding on to? How would that feel for you? In order for you to feel that way, you have to commit to yourself and to your experience. So, what I want you to do right now is make that commitment to yourself. Can you commit to yourself on this pregnancy journey so you can have a better experience? It's so easy for us to make excuses. I don't have time. This is too overwhelming. I think I'm just going to figure it out when I get there. I can't do yoga or movement practices at home because I don't have the space and I can't relax. I don't think all the work is worth it. These people have babies all the time. I know that when you get to the hospital or the place of birth, that your birth plan just goes out the window. Have you heard these excuses? Have you maybe said these excuses to yourself before? Now is the time to drop the excuses and to make that commitment to yourself and to your experience. So, there are studies that have been done that show those who are more educated in birth and have prepared have better birth outcomes, and better overall experiences. I want that to be you. I want that to be every birthing person. And that is why I'm sharing this information with you today. So, you're making this commitment to yourself. You're going to set aside distractions, hopefully, turn your phone off, don't scroll other windows, and just really be here because you're here for a reason. You're here to find calm, to find something on this pregnancy journey that maybe you feel like you're missing. So, this mini course is for you no matter the type of birth you're planning: medicated, unmedicated, home birth, unassisted, whatever it is. It's for you if you're not into yoga or meditation. It's for you if you are busy. We're all busy. And when you're pregnant, you're so busy because you're also planning to bring a new person into your life. You're busy making space. You don't have a lot of time to commit to something. This course is also for you if the thought of preparing for birth and postpartum feels overwhelming or even scary. So you are in the right place. You are exactly where you need to be. So today's presentation, I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. I'm going to cover 3 things you need to do to find your calm and to have an empowering pregnancy and birth experience. And I'm going to keep it simple. I am a strong believer that the simplest things have the biggest impact. So, a quick introduction, a little bit about me. I am the founder of Unfold Motherhood. It's a prenatal yoga studio in Brea, California. We have been here since 2012. I am also a prenatal yoga instructor, a trainer, a birth doula, a childbirth educator, a placenta encapsulation specialist. I've been doing this work for 10 years now, and I have 2 little ones of my own. So I want to share a little bit of kind of my why and how I got into this in the first place. My first birth experience was less than ideal. I went into it thinking, I took the hospital class, all the classes the hospital had. I read a book. I practice yoga. People have babies all the time. I'll figure it out when I get there. Even so, I was terrified. So terrified about giving birth. I literally thought I was going to die. I didn't have any skills to cope. When it came down to it, I didn't know what questions to ask, so I didn't know my options. I wasn't mentally prepared for everything that went with birth. And to top it off, I knew nothing about postpartum. My birth experience with my oldest daughter ended up being an unnecessary induction. And what I learned later, it became this very common experience that so many other women have experienced. That experience got me into what I do now. Fast forward 5 years, 5.5 years actually, I had another baby, and I had a very different, very empowering birth experience. I did have my baby at home, and I want to mention that you can have an empowered birth anywhere. It can be any type of birth. This is just my experience. The work that I did is the same work that we all need to do. I worked through all my fears. I did prenatal yoga. I practiced my meditation and coping skills. I hired a birth doula this time. I prepped my partner. They really needed to be prepped. That first birth was extremely hard on my husband. We were not prepared. So the second time around, he was prepared, and my doula could do what she needed to help him out. I found a great support team, so I did a lot of research. I found the midwife who I really felt comfortable with, and I made sure that this time I created a postpartum plan so that postpartum would be smoother and easier. So this photo here is of my younger daughter, and she is smiling, which is just crazy. But the point is that first experience that I had is very common, and I made a lot of mistakes that a lot of first-time moms make. And I do what I do so you can have a better birth experience, so you don't make the mistakes that I made, so that you can have this empowered birth experience that you look back at fondly, because it is something that you will carry with you forever. So jumping right into the three things you need the three things that you need to find your calm in pregnancy, birth, and postpartum. We need to move. We need to physically prepare our body. And the movement that I recommend reduces all the aches and pains that come with pregnancy. It helps get your body ready for birth and postpartum because the movement is specific to pregnancy. Mental and emotional preparation. We have to learn relaxation techniques to reduce stress during pregnancy. And these are the same skills that we'll use during birth and motherhood. And then we have education. The key to an empowered pregnancy, birth, and postpartum is education, so you can advocate for yourself and you know your options. So I want you to pause, take a deep breath, and think of 3 words that you would like to describe your birth experience. 3 words. So what are those 3 words? Maybe write them down so you can come back to them later. Thinking about your ideal birth experience is really helpful as you prepare for the birth of your baby. So, what I'm going to cover today will help you have that birth that you desire. It will help you cultivate those feelings that you just thought about. So, starting with movement, movement during pregnancy helps you find ease physically, mentally, and emotionally. Prenatal yoga is my movement of choice for pregnancy. It's gentle enough. You can begin at any time in your pregnancy, no matter your experience or your fitness level. And a big part of pregnancy is slowing down, turning inward, and learning to soften. Or, as I say a lot in my classes, learning to get out of your body's way. Prenatal yoga is going to help you do exactly that. Benefits of prenatal yoga: it's going to help you build stamina for birth. You're going to have less aches and pains, a healthier pelvic floor, not with Kegels. Don't teach Kegels. We teach lots of different ways to strengthen and balance your pelvic floor. Manage stress, decrease tension, sleep better. We all need that in pregnancy. Increases strength and flexibility. You're going to learn relaxation techniques for birth and for the rest of your life. Practicing prenatal yoga will help you heal faster and more efficiently postpartum. And prenatal yoga helps baby get into position so you can have an easier and shorter labor. Who does not want that, right? So why do these benefits help you so much? Easier, shorter labor. Birth is less painful. You're going to feel more at ease during your pregnancy. The pelvic floor is going to be stronger. and it will heal more efficiently postpartum. No matter what type of birth you have, your pelvic floor goes through a lot during pregnancy, so we definitely need to rehab that. You're also going to learn the tools you need to mentally cope with the challenges of birth and motherhood. And the education that is interweaved through prenatal yoga will help you feel more confident and prepared for birth. So the question is, can you commit to just 15 minutes a day? That's all it takes. Sometimes less can be more. 15 minutes a day is more beneficial than just an hour a week. So a little bit here and there, you will feel the differences that a little bit of movement can make in how you feel during your pregnancy. So can you commit to 15 minutes? I'm going to say that's a yes. So the next topic I'm going to touch on is education. Education is power. It's the key to having an empowered experience. When you are educated on the process, it allows you to replace fear with confidence. Education gives you options, because if you don't know your options, you don't have any. And like me with my first pregnancy, I didn't know my options. So I literally had none, and I didn't know what questions to ask. Prenatal yoga infused with childbirth education is going to help you learn. It's going to help you find your confidence while you're also relaxing and preparing. So it kind of melds all of these things, and it's basically magic. So these are my tips for educating yourself during pregnancy. Take all the classes that you can. I also want to add a caveat here. If you take a hospital class, I highly encourage that you supplement it with some out-of-hospital resources. The reason for that is hospital classes are great at telling you what to expect at the place that you're having your baby, but they leave a lot out. So by supplementing your education or taking a supplemental course, you will have a more well-rounded picture of birth and the options that are available to you. For example, a lot of my students will take the hospital classes and then they'll take my prenatal partner workshop to round it out. The other thing I highly encourage that you do is create a birth plan. If you need help creating a birth plan, I have a free template on my website, which I will also send you a link to after the workshop. Read books, listen to podcasts. Everyone has a podcast on birth. I even started a podcast on pregnancy and birth. There are some really great resources out there available to you. I encourage you to talk to people who you trust that have given birth recently, hear their stories, get ideas from them, learn what not to do and what to do. Make sure that you don't forget to prepare for postpartum. We often forget because we get caught up preparing for birth, but we do need to also prepare for postpartum. So there are some great books, there's some great podcasts. I have a mini course on preparing for postpartum and creating your postpartum plan. It's just something I really don't want you to forget about. And then if you can, hire a doula or a birth mentor. So there are lots of options available to help support and educate you. So pregnancy can be a very vulnerable time. It can also be a very overwhelming experience. You are on the cusp of one of the biggest shifts of your life. During this time, it is so important to reduce stress, to be present, and to be here for this experience and the experience that is to come. If you can do that, it can change everything. It can impact the entire journey and the entire experience. And that is why the mental and emotional preparation for birth is really important. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through a really basic breathing exercise, and it's a breathing technique that you want to practice every day for the rest of your life. The breath is such a powerful tool. Don't underestimate it. Just taking time out of your day to breathe deeply, to tune into your breath, to drop tension from your body can really shift how you feel. So I'm going to lead you through diaphragmatic breathing. And to get really simplistic, when we do this practice, you're breathing deep enough so that your rib cage moves. So the rib cage is a cage, front, sides, and back of the body. When you inhale, your ribs lift and expand. And when you exhale, they soften back down. So there's just this gentle ebb and flow. You inhale, the ribs expand. And as you exhale, they soften down. As you breathe, I want you to make sure that you're relaxing your face, your jaw, neck, and shoulders. That you're just focusing on expanding and contracting the lungs. You can breathe in and out through the nose if that feels comfortable. If you need to, you can breathe through your mouth. But just start to breathe deep enough to feel that movement in your ribs. Just keep breathing, keep practicing. And as you exhale, the ribs soften down. Try to relax, try to release any tension or holding you might be feeling in your body. So this is how we should breathe all the time. We just don't. If you look at small children, this is how they breathe. You see them breathe with their full body. This breath is also really great for pregnancy because it creates space. So breathing like this creates space for you and your baby. And it also strengthens and balances your pelvic floor. So I want you to practice this breathing technique every day, whenever you remember. It can be helpful to write breathe on a post-it note and just put it in places where you'll see it as a reminder. You can do it before you get out of bed, before you go to bed. Whatever it is, just practice this breathing technique more. On your next inhalation, you're just going to take a big sigh, inhale through your nose, and exhale through your mouth. Just notice how you feel. A couple of rounds of deep breathing changes how you feel. It is magic. So I also want to touch on how powerful the meditation and relaxation techniques can be. So now I'm just going to really quickly touch on why using meditation and relaxation techniques is so beneficial for birth. So using these techniques breaks the fear, tension, pain cycle, which means that you can have a less painful, less scary, more enjoyable birth experience. So the fear, tension, pain cycle looks like this. If you are feeling stressed, you're in fight or flight. Your body is tight. You have maybe some anxiety. You have the anticipation fear of whatever is coming next. There's tension in your body. So the tension in your body is going to cause an increased sensation of pain. So your body's tight, you have a contraction, you're getting an epidural, you're getting checked, whatever it is, it's going to feel so much more painful. Now, if we can use our relaxation techniques to get to a place where we feel a little more relaxed because we're using our techniques, we feel supported, safe, and calm. The body is relaxed, contractions are happening, the sensation of pain is reduced. So if we're feeling stressed, the body is tight, or sensation of pain is increased. If we can relax, the body is relaxed, our sensation of pain is decreased. This also affects how labor flows. So in order for you to have contractions, you have to have oxytocin moving through your body. Oxytocin causes contractions. If you're feeling stressed, if you're in fight or flight, your body is going to block the release of oxytocin, which is then going to slow or stop contractions. So being in that place where we feel relaxed is really important to the overall flow and movement of our birth. So using these techniques, it's going to benefit us in so many ways. So what I want you to know is it can be simple. But the question is, can you commit to yourself, your baby, and your experience? Do you want to have an empowered birth, pregnancy, and postpartum? So I want to share 2 examples from my clients who made the commitment to have a better birth experience. So Felicia started with me at the beginning of her 3rd trimester. You can start at any time. She says the yoga helped so much in managing the new aches, pains, and tensions of pregnancy. The focus on the breathing was a tremendous help during labor, and I would swear that the pelvic floor exercises made birth and postpartum healing easier, because they do. And then Selena, who is a client of mine for almost her entire pregnancy and then also postpartum. She said, at first I was just looking for gentle ways to keep active during pregnancy, but I benefited so much more. Not only did I feel physically empowered, I also felt mentally empowered through my pregnancy and birth. I learned so much to help me manage all the discomforts of pregnancy and helped me stay focused and calm during birth. I fully believe that if it weren't for April's teachings, I would be so scared and intimidated during labor. I learned to trust my instincts and my body. I knew what questions to ask, and I only pushed for 30 minutes, which is amazing. I totally believe the pelvic floor exercises and deep breathing I learned from prenatal yoga is the reason why it went so smoothly. These are 2 really good examples of how doing these things can impact your experience. And this is the experience I want all women to have when they bring their babies into the world. So very briefly, before we shift into the short movement practice, I do want to let you know that I have a master course for pregnancy and I have other offerings that make it simple. The offerings take away the overwhelm and replace fear with confidence so you can have the empowering birth experience that you deserve. The best part about the master course is that I essentially hold your hand the whole time because you get monthly mentoring calls with me. I also offer monthly calls a la carte. So I have a lot of services. Feel free to schedule a complimentary consultation with me, and I can help you navigate the offerings and see what would be the best fit for you. So if you are ready to commit and you want to learn more about this process and have an empowering pregnancy and birth experience, feel free to reach out to me. My goal is to take away the overwhelm and make it simple. So a quick chat with me will do just that. I hope to see you in my programs or in my inbox or over on Instagram. And I hope that you carve out 15 more minutes to do the movement practice and really feel the benefits that come along with it. So clear some space and let's start moving. Welcome to a 15-minute movement practice that you can do every day. So we're going to start seated. I recommend that you sit on a folded blanket or a cushion. You want to sit up nice and tall, rooting down through your sits bones, lengthening through the crown of the head. Relax your shoulders. If it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes or just soften your gaze towards your mat. To begin, we're going to practice diaphragmatic breathing. So you're just going to inhale and exhale through the nose. As you inhale, you expand the lungs, the ribs lift. And as you exhale everything out of the lungs, the ribs soften down. As you do this, you relax your shoulders, your throat, your jaw, your face. You're inhaling to create space and exhaling to let go of any tension or holding. As you practice this breath, you can leave your hands where they are, or you can take one hand to your heart and one hand to your baby. And just remember, this is a breath you want to practice daily, anytime you remember. On your next inhalation, you're going to reach your arms up towards the sky. Take a big stretch, lift your gaze up, and exhale your hands to your heart, sigh it out. Let's do that again. Inhale, big stretch. Exhale, sigh it out. Release your hands to your knees, and we're just going to draw some circles with the hips. Rounding forward and back. These can be big circles, they can be small circles, just about what feels good to you in this moment. Try inhaling as you round forward, exhaling as you come back. And then eventually you're going to move in the opposite direction. Hip circles are a really great way to just start to release tension in the pelvis, the hips, the low back. Eventually you're going to find your way back to center, rooting down through the sits bones. We're going to change the crossing of the legs. We just want to even the body out. So opposite leg is going to come in front. You're going to take your hands down by your side as you sit up tall, and then you're going to inhale your right arm up and maybe over if that feels okay. You want to keep the heart lifted, keep the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, open it up. We're going to sway and move side to side. Inhale to center. Exhale, open. You're going to move at your own pace. Creating space where you need it today. In pregnancy, every time you step on the mat, it's going to feel a little different. Your body is shifting and changing constantly. So always just honoring where you're at in this moment. Go ahead and take one more side stretch on each side. As you find your way back to center, we'll slowly transition into tabletop. Coming into hands and knees. If you need extra cushion for your knees, you can always slide a blanket underneath. We want to make sure that we're spreading the fingertips, sliding the shoulders back, and lengthening through the crown of the head. So the spine is nice and long, the shoulders are away from the ears. We're going to inhale, peel the heart forward, lengthen through your tailbone. Really try to open through the chest. And as you exhale, you'll round your spine, hug your baby in, push the floor away. Inhale, heart comes forward, lengthen through that tailbone. And exhale, round. And just like before, move with your breath. So today's practice is just really simple. The next time that you come back to center, you're going to hug your baby in and up, curl your toes, lift your hips, and find downward facing dog. While you're here, you can pedal out the feet. You can rock the hips, whatever feels best. What you want to do is take your feet nice and wide, so you have lots of space. Take a soft bend in your knees. Slowly walk your hands to your feet. Feet are wide, lots of space for baby. Soft bend in the knees. We're just going to take the hands to the thighs. Lift the head, lift the heart. We pause here in this half squat for a moment. And then come all the way up to stand. Once you come to stand, roll your shoulders forward and up. And then exhale, press the shoulders back and down. 2 more times. Forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Last one. And let your shoulders slide down your back. We're going to keep the shoulders down. Reach the arms up towards the sky. Hook your right wrist. Reach up and over. Shoulders away from the ears. Relax your throat, jaw, and face. Inhale, come back. Switch sides. Up and over. Just breathing into the stretch. And coming back to center. Release the arms. Take the hands to your hips. Your feet are still wide. You're going to draw some really big, exaggerated circles. Which is good, as big as feels good for you. And as you take these circles, breathe and try to find ease in your body. Eventually, you're going to move in the opposite direction with those circles. Always staying connected to your breath. I'm going to think of your exhalation as your relaxation breath. So every time you exhale, you're just relaxing a little bit more, letting go of any unnecessary tension. And then you're going to find your way back to center. Release the arms. We're going to do a side stretch one more time. Reach up towards the sky. Hook your right wrist, reach up and over. Back to center, opposite side. Come back. And then you're going to come forward into a forward fold. To release your hands, you'll take your knees wide. You're going to bend into the knees as you come down, like you're coming into a half squat. Your hands are on the floor, plenty of space for baby. Head and heart are aligned. And you'll just walk your hands forward. We're going to drop the knees. Walk the hands slightly forward of your shoulders. Give yourself all the space you need for baby. We're going to draw some big circles. And just like before, you can take these as big or as small as you would like. You're going to take them in the opposite direction. And then you're going to sink back into child's pose. So for child's pose, your knees are wide. You can bring your toes together if that feels okay. And you're going to send your hips back just as far as you feel comfortable. So if you don't have a lot of space, you can stay lifted more in the hips and come to your forearms, or you can lower down into a standard child's pose. So this is where we're going to end. I'm just going to take some breaths here. Returning to that deep diaphragmatic breath. Inhaling, the ribs expand. Exhaling, they soften down. As you exhale, you release, you soften, and you let go. As you inhale, try to feel that space that you're creating in the back of the body, on the sides of the body, in the upper back, mid back, low back. Just breathing slowly, breathing deeply, and gently forcing everything out of the lungs. And as you breathe here, relax your belly. Bring your attention and your awareness to your baby. Take a moment and feel gratitude to your body, all of the hard work that it does for you and your baby. And just thank yourself for showing up for this practice, for moving your body, for tuning into your baby and yourself. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Audible sigh out through the mouth. Again, deep breath in. Sigh it out. You're going to very slowly press yourself back into tabletop. And just take a moment here and do whatever you feel like you need. Maybe you want to stretch the legs or do another down dog. Maybe you want to sit back towards your heels and roll out your shoulders. So this is where we will end our practice. You're always welcome to continue your practice. But I thank you for joining me, and I hope that you feel a little more at ease, a little less tense and tight. Thank you, Mama.